Can you make a bowl of matcha without a whisk? This is a question people often ask us, so we decided to try it for ourselves. While the best way to make a beautifully foamy bowl of matcha is with a bamboo whisk or chasen, we understand this is not something that many people have just lying around. We decided to take 3 normal household items and compare them to the famous bamboo whisk. A few of our customers have told us their methods of preparing matcha without the chasen, and we wanted to test them out and see which one was best. First, let's start off with perhaps the most basic utensil everyone should have, a fork. I started by adding 2 scoops of matcha powder to the bowl, followed by some water. Normally we would add 1/2 teaspoon of matcha and 1/2 cup of water, but I decided to add in just a little bit first so I could smooth out any clumps that formed in the matcha. I then added the rest of the water and began swishing the fork through the water. This actually worked better than I thought it would, if you don't mind that horrible noise that it makes. Still, the foam wasn't quite good enough to create that smooth texture in a matcha we were looking for. Next on the list was the mason jar. A lot of people have said that to make matcha without a whisk, they simply shake it in a mason jar to create a foam. To test this out, we added 2 scoops of matcha powder to the jar and a small amount of water. We then shook the jar up until the matcha started to foam up nicely and poured it out into the bowl. This foam was pretty good overall and a big improvement to the fork. The only problem is that it doesn't give you the opportunity to smooth out the clumps in the beginning, so if you're making this, we recommend that you sift the powder well, otherwise it will be almost undrinkable. The third utensil we tried was the metal whisk. People often question the need for a bamboo tea whisk when things like metal whisks exist, but they actually do not perform quite as well as the traditional chasen. With this large metal whisk, it appeared to move through the water too quickly without creating enough friction. This friction created by the bamboo tea whisk moving through the water is what aerates the tea and allows it to form this beautiful foam. With the metal whisk, this seemed to be much more difficult and the foam was not quite as impressive. Finally, we wanted to bring out the real deal and try it with a traditional bamboo whisk. Although it is possible to whisk matcha with other utensils, there is no substitute for the real thing. Within just a few seconds, it was clear that the chasen produced the best foam on top of the matcha by far. This beautiful foam not only makes the matcha look nice, but it actually makes it taste better as well. The small bubbles on the surface of the matcha give it a lighter, more airy consistency and a smoother and creamier taste profile. That's why it's so important to make matcha with the right tools. After comparing 4 different utensils, it's clear that the best way to make matcha is with the chasen, but if you don't have one, which is the best alternative? I have to say that the shaker jar is most likely the best, provided that you sift the matcha before mixing it. If you don't have a sifter, the next best alternative based on our test is probably the metal whisk. And if you don't have any of these tools, you can also make matcha with a fork. Which is your favorite way to make matcha? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you want to step up your matcha game, check out our website to find bamboo tea whisks, matcha samples, as well as full matcha tins. You can get a great deal when you buy a tea whisk, along with any of our organic ceremonial grade matchas. Get everything you need to start your matcha journey at mioteas.com. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.